and I'm your success partner. And today we are discussing about why do businesses fail to execute their strategies effectively. And previously we have just discussed about lack of alignment. Then we looked at poor staffing. We looked at poor communication. But most importantly is the lack of accountability for results. Most of the time, leaders are comfortable or directors being given a task, but there is no clarity of the key outputs from their jobs. Now, once you don't have a scorecard is a yardstick against which your performance will be evaluated. It's like saying, when you're going to be my house help, I'm going to expect you that by the time I come back from work, everything is clean. There's no dust anywhere, but also the meal, the supper is ready. Now, that becomes like the target or the scorecard. If you come in the evening and find the house is dirty, then the house help has not done their work. If I find the dinner is not yet ready, then there is a problem. So the same thing you need to do with your leaders. If you are in charge of sales, how much sales must we make, and from which product, and from which region, which kind of customers? Once you give the targets broken down in these kind of areas, there is clarity of accountability. So you can hold somebody accountable. So you have to see, what is our scorecard? What are those critical things as a business do we need to look at on a daily basis to see whether we are improving or not improving? In terms of sales, how much sales do I need to see, from which region, or from which district, or from which region and sector, by which salesperson? And then I'm able to know, yes, in sales we are improving or not improving. But also, which costs do you have to spend when you are generating this sales? Remember, the business is all about scoring as many goals, making as much money, selling, and also defending, not conceding goals, making sure that you manage your costs. So I want to see that your costs also are within a region, so that we have a healthy margin. If you sell 100% and spend 100%, do you succeed? Of course you cannot succeed. You need to sell 100% so that you spend only maybe 40%, in which case you have a margin of 60%. So this total gross profit margin gives you a leeway to have other operational costs and then remain succeeding. So for you to be able to succeed, you must therefore have what we call a target net profit margin, in which case you can say every month if we can make just 20% off margin, then we have sufficient money to give to our stakeholders. And then of course you can look at churn in terms of the other qualitative measures, but also you can put numbers on these ones in terms of how many of our customers leave for the competition, what is our churn rate. If every month you are losing 3 customers and you are not, the net additions are lower than the losses, the chances that your business is going to have no customer are very high. So that is an area to monitor. But the question is not just monitoring it. The question is, as a CEO, who of your team is responsible for monitoring churn, so that you are able to know, yes, customer service is poor. Why are we losing our customers? And if you are losing them, what is the reason why you are losing these customers? So once you have this scorecard, the most important thing is to say who is responsible for what. Which person we put on the table, on the chopping table, in case we are seeing bad indicators in each of the areas of our scorecard or dashboard. A dashboard, remember, are selected 3, 4, 5, 6 items for the CEO and top management to keep their eye on. So as you keep your eyes on those things, you need to know who is responsible. And that's what we call clarity of accountability. So once you have your strategy with a scorecard and people responsible for certain areas, then you can say execution will always be effective. Execution will fail once that accountability is not done. I remain Mustapha, success partner. Thank you.